Hi guys, today's video is going to be all about foot care. You heard me correctly. I know I've touched upon some bizarre TMI topics in the past, including I feel like more hair removal videos than any one person on YouTube has ever made, and there'll probably be another one coming soon. But yeah, today we're going to talk about feet, which is one of those, it's like the final taboo, I feel like. I personally feel totally comfortable talking about pretty much anything with you guys that a lot of people might find a bit like cringeworthy and they just, oh, I don't want to talk about that, and I will talk about pretty much anything. But feet for me are a bit strange. I always feel like a bit weird talking about foot things, and especially showing them on camera, so I'm probably not going to do that. I am going to show you a few products to hopefully help see you through the party season, whether it be prep to help make your feet look nice in those new sandals that you've got for your Christmas party, or help your feet feel better after standing all night in those Christmas heels. It depends on what kind of shoes that you wear, but I don't know of any occasion where I've been out dancing in heels and my feet haven't hurt, when I haven't had that moment when I've taken my shoes off at the end of the night. Hopefully some of these products will help to kind of alleviate that and maybe keep you out dancing for even longer. So the first product that I'm going to talk about, I know you guys have seen before. I've definitely heard about this before, and I've seen it in stores, to be quite honest. It's always been something that has appealed to me for a variety of reasons, but I never actually purchased because I thought it was quite expensive. I'm going to be, I'm going to be straight with you. I thought it was expensive. I think it was around £40, $39.99, something like that for the original. And there's a gift set at the moment that is actually $49.99. It's this, in a gift set like this, with 2 nail polishes from Revlon, which I'll show you in a second. So I always thought it was expensive, and I thought, it would be useful, but do I need it? It was one of those kind of items. And I have a lot of gimmicky, electronic and motorized, that sounds weird, but you know what I mean, motorized beauty products is where I was going with that, and beauty gadgets. I have lots of things like that over the years I've thought, oh, I really need that, and I've purchased it and then never used it. So I didn't want to do that again. I didn't want to just waste money, and I wasn't sure whether or not I needed it, but now I have it. I can totally appreciate why so many people rave about it. I've always had hard skin on my feet. I don't know why. My husband, bizarrely, has got the softest feet in all of the world. They are like baby's feet. It's the most bizarre thing. But he wears socks and I suppose he babies his feet. Whereas I never wear socks. I might not own a pair of socks that's not like slipper socks. In any shoes, in any given, I'm hardly ever wearing socks. I'll walk outside with no shoes on. I've just been hard on my feet, I suppose. And so that probably does explain it. But even when I try to kind of file them down and things, I can never get them super soft. And so I suppose part of me thinking about maybe this wasn't going to be worth it for me was thinking that maybe my feet could never be soft. I thought that they were just kind of rougher than your average. I know that's super TMI, but I feel like I'm not the only person that feels like that. So that's part of the reason that I never actually bit the bullet and purchased it, because I just thought, one, is it actually going to do enough for it to be worth the money? And two, am I actually going to use it? And I've had this for a week now, and I can tell you it is absolutely amazing. It's totally revolutionized the way that I look after my feet. That sounds insane, but it has. Because it's easy. It's so easy. I have no stamina when it comes to filing my feet whatsoever. I'll do it for like 5 minutes and I'm like, oh, my arms are tired, I can't be bothered. And so I'm never ever going to get super soft feet that way. I've bought pumice stones. The amount of things that I've bought these metal files. I've had those horrible chemical sock things that you put on and it makes all of your feet peel. If you've not seen that, Google it. It's awful. And if you're not prepared, if you do it thinking like, oh my god, they're going to make my feet have like, oh, it sheds some skin. It doesn't sound as bad as it is. It is awful. Really horrendous. Mallory1712, in fact, reminded me of them recently because she showed them in a vlog. She had no idea it was going to happen, and they literally just, it's like a snake, but it just looks like a horror film. Awful. So that was pretty effective, but I would never do that again because it was so scary. So I've tried pretty much everything. I've used soaks, I've had, what are they called? Foot spas, and nothing has really done all that much. The only thing I haven't done is have a professional pedicure. And the main reason I haven't done this, and you're going to think this is so terrible, but again, this goes back to me being really hard on my feet, is because some years ago I got glass in my feet. Again, going back to the partying element and having to take your shoes off because your feet hurt. I took off my shoes. I think I was about 17, 18. Let's say I was 18, so I was allowed to be there. But I don't think that I was. So I was around 18, took off my shoes and walked through this nightclub, which as an adult now, and I know I was an adult then, but really wasn't. As an adult now, I would never do in a million years, famous last words. It was really dangerous, and I would do it frequently, walk through the streets with no shoes on, anything could have been in my feet. And I got at least one piece of glass in my foot, in an area that I could feel it frequently, and I never really got it out. And I don't know whether or not it worked its way out or it's just swimming around my bloodstream waiting to kill me. As my dad keeps warning me, it will. This was like 11 years ago now, so any day now, guys. And I didn't go to have a proper pedicure in case they decided that they had to get it out, and I was so scared. I can now tell you that I have got every single possible layer of dead skin off my feet, and they are so soft. And the reason that is because I've been doing it a little bit at a time, completely mindlessly while I'm doing other things. So I'm literally, it sounds like this. So it's quite noisy, but you can still hear over the top of it. So I wouldn't do this whilst I was like watching TV with someone, but for example right now, previous to filming this video, I was editing my vlog. So I'm editing with one hand and I'm just filing my feet with the other, because you barely need to do anything. It's literally like you're just rolling it over your skin. It's easy and it's totally mindless. So it's something that you can do whilst you're watching TV, whilst you're doing something else, which is why I've managed to get my feet as soft as I have. It wasn't a one-time process. For someone who has neglected their feet, this is going to be something that you absolutely love, because you can finally get soft feet, but don't expect it to be a 5-minute job. Whereas from now on, I feel like every other day or so, I'm going to do it really quickly before bed. And it's going to be, I'm going to be able to keep on top of it, and it's easy. It's just easy. So I love this thing just because it's actually managed to do something that nothing else has ever done. I'm not going to show you in action, and this is why. Because basically what it does, if I'm assuming you know, but basically what it does is kind of buff away all the dead skin, which is gross. So as you're using it, if you are using it properly, and you're not kind of like, if I'm not just if I'm not just pretending to use it, you will see tons of dead skin fly off my feet. Nobody needs to see that. So on to the products that I would use with it. Prior to buffing my feet. Now this is something that you may or may not know about. I, in the past, have used pumice stones and stuff in the bath, and I always felt like I got more skin off and a softer feel after I'd soaked my feet first, or preferably used it in the bath. Now obviously I'm not going to use this thing in the bath, that's, you know, it's electronic and I'm pretty sure it's not waterproof. So the first time I did it, I scrubbed my feet first with this stuff, which is Barefoot Step into Smooth and Nourished Skin. It's the Peppermint and Plum Foot Scrub. It smells really nice, and to be quite honest, it helped to like clean my feet and soak my feet. I don't think that it did anything major. You definitely, if you have hard feet, if you have hard skin on your feet and you're not like, maybe at this point now, I don't know, because I'm only speaking from a point of reference of like severely neglected feet. I feel like you've all got this like weird image in your minds now of my like hobbit feet, which is probably fairly accurate. But if you have, if maybe to the point where I'm at now and they're quite soft, maybe if I used this every time I was in the bath, that might keep on top of it. But I don't think that this by itself would help to keep my feet particularly smooth all by itself. But yeah, after I'd done that, I read that you're not supposed to use this on wet feet or feet that have been soaked. You're supposed to use it on dry feet. And I thought that that was madness. I thought, oh yeah, whatever. Maybe it like blunts this quicker or something. But I definitely didn't think that that was for me. I definitely thought that it was for the device rather than the fact that it would be more effective on dry feet. But I've used it since on dry feet and it is 100% more effective. I know it sounds mad now because obviously it's the dry skin and you want to buff away the dry skin, and so it needs to be dry to get rid of it. But if you're like me and you've tried loads of different things in the past, it might take a minute to wrap your head around the fact that it actually works better if your feet aren't wet and they haven't been soaked. Madness. So once I'd actually used it, I used this soothing foot lotion, which has got shea butter in it, which I love because it smells amazing, and vitamin E. Softens and moisturizes, same old. However, this is a bit different to the other kind of foot lotions I've tried in the past. Whatever I've tried has been really thick. And for me, I'm someone that as soon as I've got something on my feet, I need to get up about and walk and do things, even if I don't need to do it. You know, like when you've painted your nails and all of a sudden you want to go and do things that involve smudging your nails. This is really weird because it's very, very thin and it absorbs really quickly. So if you're someone that wants to be kind of up and about and doing things, or just that goes to the toilet like 15 times a night like me, blame the 2 children, then this is really, really good because it's really thin, but it gives you the feeling that you've hydrated your skin, but it's not thick. It's really, really strange. I like it. It smells nice. It is very refreshing, but it doesn't feel like every other foot cream that I've ever used. Is odd. And to be fair, it does say it's soothing. I think that's probably about right. It doesn't feel like, it's not the kind of thing you could give yourself a foot massage with, but I do think that at the end of the night it's very nice and almost a little bit cooling. Now on to a few of the products that you can use to hopefully stop yourself from being in complete agony after you've been out. So first of all, these are things that I've used before. We've got ball of foot cushions, like gel cushions, and they look like these. These are both from Superdrug, and Heel Shields Invisible Gel, like this. And they look like this. So the Heel Shields look like this. These are on like a back of plastic, and they're sticky. And you can put them on the back of your shoe. These are super useful. I've used these for years in various pairs of shoes that either are a little bit too small and it helps to slightly bridge that gap, or shoes that are really freaking painful. Those of you that remember that new pair of shoes that I bought earlier this year, the expensive ones, they killed me for ages and ages and ages. Now I can use them and I'm quite comfortable in them because they did stretch out like promised, but for a long time they hadn't stretched and they were really, really painful. So I would highly recommend getting a pair of these over the Christmas season especially, but really all year round it's nice to have them in. And then the ball of the foot ones I've really never managed to use because they've always been really small, but these are really good. These are like the actual size of the inside part of my shoe. The ones I've used in the past have been kind of like maybe this size, and so they slip around in your shoe, and what's the point? Because then you're constantly moving around your shoe and like it's being annoying that you're trying to keep that underneath your foot, and it's just another added stress on your foot. Madness. Whereas this is a really large one, so this would actually fit almost like an insert into your shoe, so you wouldn't worry about it slipping around. Blister plasters. I've heard about these before, obviously. It's not kind of a new thing, but I've never actually used them, which is kind of mad because why not? I have blisters all the time. Why have I never tried them? But it actually says prevents and treats blisters, but it prevents them, first of all. That's what I thought that they did, but it treats them, relieves pain, promotes healing. So if you've got a blister, this is not something that you necessarily would just want to put on to stop yourself from getting blisters in your shoes. This is something, it's an actual plaster, something that helps get rid of blisters, and it's waterproof, so you keep it on your foot. I feel like I'm the last person in the world to know about these, but I thought blister plasters were just kind of a little bit like these, like preventers. But in actual fact, there is a special plaster made for when you get blisters in your shoes. Did you know about that? Am I the only person that didn't know about that? I don't know. And lastly, the 2 nail polishes that came in the kit with the Schaub foot buffer. Ooh, nearly made a slip then. The Revlon is the Love Is On Revlon nail polishes, and the colours are Fuchsia Fever and One Perfect Coral, and I have the One Perfect Coral on today. I know it's not particularly festive, but I'm kind of loving the coral because it's like that happy red coral, kind of. But they're the colours that came with the, because you know, it goes with it, doesn't it? I love that this is pink. The original one was blue, and that's all very nice, but this is pink. I kind of like it a little bit more. So that is it for today's video about foot care. Again, another weird TMI topic from me. If you want to see any more, I quite like talking about these weird subjects because it leads you off on these bizarre tangents. In fact, fun fact, my husband's dad, so my father-in-law, is actually a chiropodist, and I won't let him touch my feet for the same reasons that I told you earlier. Don't want him to find the weird glass that's going to kill me, and also I think it's a bit weird for my father-in-law to touch my feet. Nobody else think that's weird? He did my mum and dad's feet, and I thought that was weird. I don't know. But I'm interested to see, when I see him next, I'm going to get this out and ask him his opinion of it as kind of a professional. So expect some kind of follow-up on a blog post soon, because I'm interested to see what he thinks of it, because obviously he has like professional tools and stuff for his job. So I'll see how he thinks it compares to the stuff that he uses every day. Also, if you guys have used this yourself, please leave a comment below letting us know your experiences. This is a sponsored video. My opinion and what I tell you in this video will only go so far with people, I understand that. So it will be really useful if you've actually used that yourself, and I think it'll be really useful for the people watching this video to hear some other people's opinions, good, bad, ugly, great. Let us know. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!